to our quiz phase with Peter Benzinger, who's also one of our sales guys, and he is nautical trivia extraordinaire. So Peter, welcome, and you're going to be giving the quizzes to these guys and prizes. So take it away, Peter. Oh, and yes. Margie's there as well. Hi, Margie.
Absolutely. My name is Peter Benzinger, and this is...
I'm Margie.
We are a sailing couple. We've been living aboard for 11 years, and we've got about 42,000 miles under our keel in about 44 countries. And we're aboard Peregrina right now in the main salon. And years ago, when I was in college, I took a course in etymology, which is the origin of words and what they mean. And I became very interested in it. And Marge actually helped me in the Pacific.
When we were crossing the Pacific, every night we would have a net on the SSB radio. And Thursday night, we did trivia night. So Peter and I developed a huge selection of trivia questions, and we're going to test you today.
So we're going to have a test today for about 15 minutes. Maybe a test isn't the right word. Maybe a fun game would be a better word. But we'll be doing it every day at 3 o'clock. And tomorrow at 3 o'clock, we'll announce the winners from today. We'll get your names and draw some lucky winners out of the hat. But there'll be multiple choice questions. I do have to caution you that all the answers will sound reasonable. And it's not a question of selecting the best or most appropriate one, because we absolutely made up 3 of them. They're total fabrications. They're completely untrue. But
there's one.
There's one that is true. But we hope you can read between the lines and figure out which ones. We're going to try a polling process here that is offered by Zoom. If it doesn't work, we'll turn it off. But we're going to get the questions up on the screen. The answers are going to be numbered 1 through 4. So maybe get a pencil and a piece of paper so you can keep track of how well you do. And then we'll try to show you what the other people answered. So we're going to give this a whirl and do our best and see if we can
well, we got number 1.
Is that the right answer? Good. Okay, now we're going to launch the polling here. And good. Now, here's the question. We often hear the expression, I tried my best to the bitter end. What is a bitter end? Margie will read the answers, potential answers.
Okay, so number 1. When sailors ate lemons to prevent scurvy, the peel was called the bitter end. Or is it number 2? That refers to a line on a sturdy post on the deck. Number 3, the last drop of grog had a bitter taste. Or is it number 4, the most aft part of a sailboat, usually the trailing edge of the rudder? So which one is the bitter end? We'll give you about 10 seconds to make your choice. Then you can register your vote and hit submit. And we'll see how it goes. All right.
Okay, it looks like the votes are being registered. So
give them a second.
Let's give them a few seconds more. And then we'll go ahead and try. We've got... Not everybody has voted yet, but we'll give it a whirl now. See what happens. And share results. Okay, it seems like the most popular one was number 2. And that says refers to a line on a sturdy post on the deck. And guess what? That's the right answer. A bitter end refers to the end of an anchor line secured to a post on a deck called a bit. And actually, if you were listening to Wayne early in the morning, he mentioned the word bit or bitter end. And the line was paid out around this bit to set the anchor. However, if the water was deeper than anticipated, the rope would pay out to the bitter end, which is the very end of the rope. And hopefully you wouldn't let it go because...
Hate it when that happens.
Yeah, losing an anchor. Okay, now let's try to get number 2 here for you. This is one of my favorites, and we'll launch the polling here, and hopefully that'll work. And basically, the expression is the devil and the deep blue sea. And what does that mean? So go ahead and register. Oh, Margie will read the answers.
I'll read the answers. You have 4 choices. Number 1, a sailing reference to heaven existing in the sky above us. 2, caught between the potential danger of sailing and a devil's wind. 3, when a sailor is suspended between the ocean and a seam of the boat. Or 4, this defines the struggle between evil and calm thinking. So what is between the devil and the deep blue sea? All right, we'll give you a few more seconds to make your choice, and then just register your vote and hit submit.
Okay, we've got most people, oops, some people changed their minds. That's kind of interesting. So let's see what it is. Okay, here are the results. They were split, I guess. There was 3 groups. Nobody voted on a sailing reference to heaven existing in the sky above us, so I guess I wasn't very clever there.
Panelists cannot vote, cannot say.
The devil was the longest seam of the ship, thought to be the first plank on the outer hull of a wooden vessel from stem to stern. And the devil had to be caught. The sailor hung from a rope to do so, because they used to have to put pitch and tar between the seams to let the wood expand and contract. But this poor person was suspended from the side of the boat between the devil, which is the plank, and the sea. And it was a very precarious position when the ship was underway. So that's what to be between the devil and a deep blue sea means. It's to be in a precarious position.
Number 3.
Number 3.
Right.
Okay, now we'll go to our next one.
Oh.
I think I'm healing.
4.
Oh, it's okay. It's good enough. All right. Here's one that is probably easier for you. What does the cat's out of the bag mean?
Okay, so number 1, the ship's cat was kept in a bag during battles. Or is it number 2, a sailor who was about to receive punishment? Or 3, cats have better night vision and could see ships coming. Or is it number 4, when cats give birth, the litter is out of the bag? So have a few seconds, register your answer, and hit submit. All right, give them a chance.
Okay, I'm supposed to give you a chance now. We've got people still voting. Oh, they're still voting. Oh, now they're still voting. And
Is out.
yeah, we're getting pretty high here. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Well, the right answer is number 2. A sailor was about to receive punishment. And the cat of 9 tails was a whip that was kept in a bag until used to flog a man. He certainly regretted it when the cat came out of the bag. Cat of 9 tails, commonly referred to as the cat, is a type of multi-tailed whip that was used as an implement of punishment in the British and the Royal Navy. It actually has 9 little lashes with 9 little knots on them, so you get 9 times the punishment. One of the really cruel punishments was called flogging around the fleet. So if you were in an anchorage and the Admiralty wanted to demonstrate to all the ship's crews in the anchorage that they needed to respect all the rules, a man who broke the rules would be tied to the mainmast of a jolly boat, which is a small boat, and rode from ship to ship where he would receive lashes given by the quartermaster of that boat. And he was used as an example, and everybody on all the boats had to witness his flogging. And even if he died during the flogging, he was taken to the next boat and reflogged because it was important to have everybody see. Okay, I guess we didn't do that, but
So, number two
number
is the right answer.
Number 2 is the right answer. And now let's see how to start this thing again. Whoop, sorry about that. Okay, we have a little bit, end polling. Sorry, here we're having a little bit of a, here we go, okay. All right, the next one. Let's see. I'm hoping you're seeing this. Good. What does the expression "to get a good deal" come from? Marge?
Okay. To get a good deal, where does that come from? Does it come from a plank of wood? Or were deals a weight of grog? Number 3, certain assignments on a ship were called deals. Or number 4, in a fight on board, a hard punch was called a deal. So again, we'll give you a little bit of time to make your choice,
Well, that's interesting.
register your vote, and hit submit.
I love that quiz thing. I have to give a feedback on it. It's very nice of these people to come up with. I don't know. Who are they?
Okay, I think here we go, guys.
Oh, they do.
One more time.
I'm always in a
you're
hurry.
rushing.
Yeah,
You're rushing.
we're still seeing some votes registered, but
The first studies on his own.
we have a lot to go.
All right.
Okay, and now we'll see what everybody said. And
Wow, this is interesting.
Yeah, this was kind of all over the place. Now, this is, I didn't actually know this until a while ago, but when cutting timber for a ship, back in the old days for the wooden ship, a wooden plank was called a deal. So that when a shipbuilder had a good plank of good quality, he was said to have gotten a good deal. So the answer is number 1.
Wow. We fooled a lot of people on that one.
We fooled some people on that one. Okay, this one might be a little easier, I think. And let's launch the polling on this. The question is, this is an expression I used to tell my kids when they were, I would say, out of line. I would say, you need to toe the line. Not that they ever listened to me much, but the potential answers are?
Okay, to toe the line, to walk along the anchor rope. Or number 2, to steer a straight line on a plotted course. Number 3, to stand on a ship's seam. Or 4, to put a line between your toes when splicing the ends. All right, so we've got answers coming. We'll give you 10 seconds and register your vote and hit submit.
It's funny, we're watching the answers come in and they're bouncing. People are changing. So, okay, let's...
Have faith in your first choice.
I'm not sure that's true, but here's the results.
Oh, there was a tie.
Oh, there was a tie here between steering a straight line and standing on the ship's seam. Well,
And the winner is?
And the winner is, it's standing on a ship's seam. Basically, the old wooden ships had deck planking over the decks, and they also expanded and contracted in the weather, so they were put together with pitch between the seams. So there were lines all across the deck, and when the crew was called together by the boatswain's mate or the quartermaster, they would be told to toe the line. And nobody wore shoes on these old sailing ships for the most part. So they would put all their toes on a line, and if all their toes were on the line, then the entire ship was properly lined up, and the captain or the quartermaster or the lieutenant could address them. So that's toe the line. Okay. Now I'm gonna relaunch the polling here, I guess, and here we go. Okay. This is one of my favorites, and let's see. It's where does the expression "cold enough to freeze the balls off a brass monkey" come from? Marge?
Oh, slow down, cowboy. This is a family-friendly boat show here. Let's see, where are the answers? What's cold enough to freeze the balls off a brass monkey? Number 1, on Nelson's flagship, a winter storm froze his pet male monkey. Pet male monkey. Number 2, on either side of the compass were large metal brass balls. Number 3, a French officer's sword had a brass monkey on the scabbard. Or number 4, cannonballs were stored on a brass monkey. So we'll give you a little more time and make your choice and hit submit.
Well, you know, when ships went into battle, they did have their cannonballs stored on deck. The powder was never stored on deck. It was always stored down below, and they would have young children basically bring the powder up from the powder room. But the cannonballs were there, and they were stacked in kind of a four-sided pyramid, I guess would be the right way to say it. But they had to have a secure base for the cannonballs, and they made it out of brass. It was a brass cannonball holder. So there was this big square of brass with a concave space for each of the cannonballs, and the first row of cannonballs was put in securely into the space, and then there was another row on top of them of a lesser number going up into a pyramid. And that kept them pretty well, except when the temperature was very cold, because brass contracts more quickly than the iron cannonballs. And all of a sudden, the base was too small for the cannonballs, and the cannonballs would roll out of the brass monkey and roll all over the deck, which was really a terrible thing to happen. But that's where the expression "cold enough to freeze the balls off a brass monkey" came from.
So number 4.
So number 4. So, okay, now, so that's where most people got that one right, but they're hard. These are tough ones to guess. So, okay, let's go on to the next one. This one you might be able to get. Let's see if you have some luck on this one. Okay, you've probably heard the expression "to eat a square meal," or told your kids to eat a square meal. And the question is, where does this expression come from?
All right, your 4 choices are: a meal that contains 4 items: carbohydrates, vegetables, dairy, and fruit. Or number 2, lift your fork up directly from the plate and make a 90-degree turn to your mouth. A square meal. Number 3, lard, much used on a ship, was stored in square boxes. Or 4, a common onboard plate. So again, what does it mean to eat a square meal? I'll give you a few more seconds, register your vote, and hit submit.
Okay, we got most of the votes in now. So let's go ahead and share the results. And here we are. Basically, the answer is that it was a onboard square plate. It turns out that when things were not rocking and rolling, that it was the ship's food to the crew was served on flat planks, which were square. And They were easy to make. They were easy to store because they were all square. They didn't roll around.
There's a mute button.
That's where the expression "to eat a square meal" was, to eat your meal off a square
There's a mute button.
on a boat. We'll do one more. We've actually kind of lost track of timing here, so Wayne, if we're overboard, just let me know. But we'll just do one more here. And this is the question is: we've all heard of black books. Now, where did these come from, Marge?
Okay. We're not talking about the black book or blue book for cars. We're talking about, number one, a list of brothels in ports of call. Or two, where the purser entered the stores bought on board. The book where the pursers entered the stores brought on board. Or three, a collection of maritime laws. Or is it four, gangplanks stored on deck and lashed together during passage? So what were the black books? Again, we'll give you a little more time and register your vote and hit submit.
Boy, this one is drawing a lot of diverse opinions.
Yes, a lot of changing going on
A lot
here.
of changing going on here.
There's one right answer.
Oh, okay. All right, we've got most of the votes here in, and I'll share the results with you. And this is what the results look like. The Black Book, the answer is number 3. It's a collection of maritime laws. And basically, these Black Books contain regulations of conduct aboard a boat and also forms of punishment. So if somebody was going to be flogged around the fleet, his punishment would probably be in this maritime Black Book. Basically, the punishments for offenses were all harsh, to say the least. In addition to flogging, there was actually drowning. You could drown somebody. Starvation, marooning, keel hauling. They were all punishments. And one of the most serious offenses was sleeping on watch. That was really, really a tough one. So as it's used today, if you're listed in somebody's Black Book, you've offended them in some way. And luckily for all of us, these kind of corporal punishments, for the most part, don't agree.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be in anybody's Black Book.
Or blacklisted.
Blacklisted.
Blacklisted,
That's
yes.
another one, yeah. I think we're probably out of time.
Yeah.
The other one ran a little late, but let me just get back here. So this is Margie and Peter from Onboard Peregrina. We will be here every day at 3 o'clock. Margie will be on a panel tomorrow of the women's perspective, and she suffered 9 years with me going around the world, so she has some perspectives on that. And I'll be doing, with Margie, a video and slide presentation of our circumnavigation and some of the lessons learned. And then on Sunday at the end of the day, I'll be doing my favorite tools. And that may sound a little bit mundane, but my guess is that you have probably never seen some of these tools. So we hope they're interesting to you, and we'll look forward to seeing you shortly.
All right.
Over to you.
Bye-bye.
Over to you.